Namaskar.
Namaskar.
Very good evening to you.
Very good evening. How are you doing?
I am doing very good and I'm very excited to talk to you today.
Same here. Tell me.
So, we're going to talk about something known to all, something everyone talks about, and I feel it is something very, very beautiful, yet not understood and highly misunderstood. So, today we are going to talk about love. Love, which is physical, which is emotional, which is spiritual, and which is also paranormal. Now, there are so many adjectives that I have attached to a very beautiful emotion of love. Before we move on there, what do you think? What is your definition? What is Viral Manik's definition of love, and how do you see it?
See, you have chosen the topic and you have given the framework of physical, emotional, spiritual, paranormal. Itself, it can go on to as long as so many episodes. Let's see how much I can cover today and how much it can be done. When you have talked about this subject that we are going to discuss about it, only one thing came into my mind is like an Anupama serial. It keeps on going and going and going and it never ends. So this is a subject which is never going to end at all. Anyway, we have to frame it and let's discuss it. The love. The first bombshell that you are putting is the physical. So let's put it this way that the
So,
physical
before
love.
we talk about physical and the other aspects that we spoke about, why don't you just tell me what is your feeling about love as an emotion, and then we can, speak about the other adjectives associated with it.
Okay. So love is the most misunderstood, misconstrued, miscommunicated. What happens, the brain has a very specific way in which the brain understands the each word and it has its own subjective meanings. By that word, a particular emotion is triggered. For example, I'll give you a very simple example. The one who has not gone through a very good marriage, for that love means something different. One who has a very enlightening relationship, the word love means different. For a mother, love means something else. So it's a very subjective experience in all about the love. As far as we have to go and understand the love first, and then we will understand the different aspects of it.
Sure.
Love is synonymous with two things. Love means, and as the nature says, it is a nature of our soul. Love is the word reflection of our soul light. Love is also means peace. Love means also joy. Because these three
Does
words can
love mean joy, or does
no,
love bring in joy?
yeah, I'm coming on. So, like when you say a human being has a six qualities that makes the human very different from other animals and creatures. Generally, if you look at it, the man or a female is you can identify and tell, "Yeah, she is a female, she is a male." So when you talk about the soul, these three things goes together. Love, peace, and joy. That is the nature of the soul.
Okay, that's
That is what.
interesting.
Ha. So the moment you say love, It will also give you the peace. It will also the joy which is unparalleled to the pain or a dukh ya sukh ke pare, anand. The synonymous word, there is no synonymous word in English about the anand. So joy is the closest word that is. If you understand this terminology and concept, things becomes very clear in defining the physical, emotional, spiritual, and paranormal. And the some terms that we use, you know, for example, most of the couples or the opposite sex people, they say, he doesn't love me anymore.
That was going to be my other topic of discussion.
Exactly that. अरे वो मुझे प्यार नहीं करता है. पहले बहुत प्यार करता था, अब प्यार नहीं है हमारे बीच में. So basically, when we get acquainted with an opposite sex partner, I'm just defining in that context right now because it's a much wider concept than we understand. So what we do, we are very good with each other in the beginning. Okay, so we start giving it. मैं प्यार करता हूँ, मैं देता हूँ, मैं ये ऐसा करता हूँ, मैं वैसा करता हूँ, वो ऐसा करता हूँ. दोनों ये गेम खेलते हैं, then it that game is over. Then they start demanding. So first, what we give love as is for the return that we want. Actually, we need love. We ask for the love. So we don't directly ask. We say, "I'm giving you love, so you give me the love back."
But that makes it very transactional. Is it a good thing?
So the moment you, no, no, why does this happen? That we need to understand. It's not whether we label it to the transactional, whether we say it that love, discord of any relationship. The core issue is that we are expecting the others to love us.
Okay.
That also too far, actually speaking. The basic is that I want to convert the other and behave in the way that I wanted. Now, coincidentally, today morning I received a message from Rishikesh, with whom I did couple of podcasts, and he said, "Let's talk about the topic of childhood issues, that the person has gone through."
Hmm.
Now, when I'm talking about the love and I'm talking about the personalities and the challenges which we have in the relationship, is basically coming from the childhood. Even our sexual preferences are from the childhood, and that
True.
is more psychological condition than the actually physical need and physical depiction of what we want or physical expression of what we want in a intimate relationships.
True.
So in that context, every couple who is going to listen to this or listening for that matter right now, they need to understand that when we use the word and a phrase that he doesn't love me, she doesn't love me, it clearly says one thing, that I am away from myself. If
Okay.
somebody says to me, I will listen it this way. Acha, he is too far from him. So when a person is when in your presence, so now this comes the law of reflection. When you are in presence of someone, and in the presence when you feel yourself fully, that is why you feel that the love is flowing between both of you. But actually, the other is only facilitating you. Remember this line. This line is very, very important. The other is only facilitating you. And that applies,
Facilitating towards.
Pardon?
towards? Facilitating towards?
To know myself,
Okay.
to know my origins. The journey is to know who am I, and going inward. See, these are the areas where you touch your consciousness, you touch your soul, you touch your spirit,
So,
you
Viralji, if
feel.
I'm understanding you, I'm sorry to interrupt, but if I'm understanding you right, and I
Yeah.
believe this is one thing which a lot of people feel, and uh, I have discussed this during our social gatherings also. This caught my attention when you said that, love is. If somebody's saying that this person doesn't love me anymore, which means if I say that this person doesn't love me anymore, it means I am actually looking at the emptiness inside me. It's an inner reflection of me, correct?
Yes. I'm away from myself. The
I'm
simple
away
way.
from myself. And
Yeah,
since there is this emptiness inside me, I want someone else to fulfill that emptiness. And when the other person is not able to do that, I feel that the person doesn't love me. Am
exactly.
I understanding you right?
You perfect. Exactly, this is what it means. And
Okay,
then
so
this
this is
happens
an
very
eye
much.
opener.
So actually, you're saying that I'm too far away from the soul.
This is an eye opener, and I think not just for me, for excuse me.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, it was too much for me to take, and I'm sure too much for a lot of us to take. But thank you so much. Suddenly वो बोलते हैं ना ज्ञान चक्षु खुल गए. And those who are listening to this right now, those who are going to listen to this right now, this makes a lot of sense. If you feel that your partner or whoever you are in a relationship with, if the feeling is coming in that the person doesn't love you anymore, it is, please look inward and see where is your emptiness, what is it that you are missing in yourself that you're trying to find in someone else. Rather than doing that, I think it's good that we find that in ourselves and make our relationship more fulfilling. Please correct me if I'm wrong, Viralji.
You are absolutely right. But in this case, there are a couple of things which happens which we need to understand, and it is not so simple as that it appears to be. However, it is very simple, but the conditioning with us, which will make things little complex in that term, because we are habituated, to blame others and look at the others. So, in a scenario where the other is unconditionally loving you, still you are empty, still you are not satisfied, still you are not fulfilled, still you don't feel the love. Why? Because you are away from yourself. You are not looking at the reflection, you are only looking at your own image of yourself.
Viralji,
And
a
what?
situation like this, sorry, please
Pardon?
continue.
No, no, go ahead, go ahead.
The situation that you just spoke about, this usually comes in, when a person is involved in a romantic relationship or a marital relationship. Such situations barely, or I believe, rarely come up uh, in a loving relationship between parents and children, between siblings, between friends. What would you
You
have
are
to
very
say
much
about
right.
that?
You are very much right in that case. But when we understand the different, see, these are the tags that we use. The relationships are the tags. I will come to the relationships when it comes to the emotional state, when it comes to the spiritual self. And trust me, this is not a 3, 4 episode program. And this is not a topic which you have touched. It's a complete symphony, it's a complete orchestra, and this will lead to ultimately, after even we complete the episode, what it will lead to 7 principles, you know, of the relationship, which is going to transform your life and to make you realize who you are. And if you start looking at this from that perspective, this will help in realigning yourself and looking at the way the world is operating rather than finding the blame, because in that case you will lose an opportunity to look into yourself and lose an opportunity to really gain from that. So let us take a very romantic first, uh, you know, the first relationship that one goes with is so excited. Everything is so romanticizing. Everything looks so beautiful. The world looks beautiful. And your partner says, you know, can we meet after 10 minutes? You are far away, half an hour. It's raining. There is no auto rickshaw. There is no public transport available. Still, you are ready to take the challenges, and you will reach out. And with the same person, the same situation, after few years, you say, I don't have time. And you will
True.
find everything which you have overcome the obstacle as that an excuse. So you have, you got whatever you wanted and you gave whatever you wanted, but you still are unsatisfied with yourself. And you don't know how to deal with. And then you look at somewhere else. That from where can I get the love? Love is not something to get at all. You cannot get. What can you get when you have something with yourself? If I ask you, Smriti, one thing, you are, you just go out and in your colony and in your community, you just start talking and say, uh, look, everybody, I want some ice. I, I want 2 years. Where can I find?
Within myself.
Same as the love. You cannot get it. Only the other will be, what other helps you is to create a mirror. There are two possibilities only. One is he or she will create a mirror that you can reflect on yourself and experience that who you are. Or there is no mirror, there is no backside, is not cover, it's not reflective, it's transparent. Then you will not feel the love, you will not feel the connection, you will not feel the oneness with that person. The one who is the perfect partner for you is the most difficult partner you have in your life. He or she will open up to see your personality in its true color and true sense, and gives an opportunity for you to reflect back on yourself and transform your life.
On a lighter note, Viralji, are you trying to say that couples who fight a lot are the people who really love each other a lot?
Not exactly. They have a greater opportunity to find their own love within themselves.
Okay.
See, it's not fighting. It is when we find faults, we find that other is not aligning it. Other is not with me. So this universe is so well designed, and when we meet the person that we cannot change, I cannot change my mother and father, you cannot change your son or daughter, you cannot change your wife, siblings, anything which is a compulsive situation, that is and those are the people who are actually cornering you to look at yourself and to experience your own love, and you are embodiment of love.
All
So never
right,
look
that makes sense.
them as your opposite person. If you start looking at it that way, it becomes very simple. The challenge is that I want to change other, I don't want to change. The whole premises goes wrong here. गणित का जो सम है वो यहीं से पहले ही गलत तरीके से शुरू होता है, then the answer will not come.
I
That
get
is
that.
That is how things are with the person. And it is not what I am talking about. It is the system that I am giving the words to, which I have seen it, I've experienced it. And this is not my system. And this is not the universal system which I've read it somewhere and spoken about. Or am I reading it live right now? No. This was a community which was responsible initially to help Jesus Christ, no, in early days of his very young age, very maybe teenage or something. That this community has, or this people have taken responsibility to groom Jesus Christ, and they have laid down the seven principles, and those are the principles that I wish to talk to the audience sometime. So it is very actually not very easy and very not very popular subjects.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that I am not touching on the popular subjects. I am touching on the subjects which will give you in-depth dive within yourself.
All right. So, I think the emotional aspect of love that you have just described has been, it's very beautiful and very, very eye-opening. Let's come to the other side that we were talking about. And before we move to the physical aspect of love, that which is a part of our conversation today, just to make it a little light, to make the mood a little light, I would say, I would like to ask you, there is one organ in our body which is always associated with love, which is the most important organ in everybody's body, which is the heart. So why heart, Viral ji? ऐसा क्या बेचारे दिल ने कर
So,
दिया है?
so let
दिमाग,
me
किडनी, liver, why not those?
let me explain you one simple thing. You have a very pertinent question, but the your opening remarks before you asked this question was that I have not explained the emotional aspect yet. I have to give you a very correct insight into the emotions of love. You As you touch this point, let me answer this. Why heart? Heart has been since a very long time. It is being considered as the center of love. Now, at that time, the people were. I don't know whether they intuitively knew about all these things very well, and that is why they did it. So today's science says that the number of neurons which are there in our heart, they are more powerful, and heart is our second brain. To your surprise, we have another heart in our body, which is does the equivalent work of the heart, but it has no credit to that, which is in the calf. A couple of episode in the couple of days before I mentioned about this when we were talking about the physical aspect of the disease. Now that area it has some amount of force. It pumps
Mhm.
the blood when we are in an anti-gravitational position. That the blood has to go up, so it requires force, and that force comes from the calf. So our neurons, which are there, which is in the brain, it is also there in the heart, which is also there, which is also there in our gut. So
Is
these
that why they
revealing
say butterflies in the stomach?
are not. That is something different. This area, the diaphragm, just below the diaphragm, the area
Hmm.
contains certain neurons, and what we say normally, the word very loosely which we use, the subconscious, that the patterns which are there, which is subjective consciousness, not the sub of the consciousness, the lower aspect of the consciousness. It is actually the subjective consciousness. So that resides, I mean, that the physical form is here. The heart being the most powerful. See, everything that we do, I give you three practices. Whichever practice in the religion, like what we do here, namaskar, we do the prayer like this, we do the prayer like this, all is oriented towards heart. It is to just when you focus your awareness to the neurons get activated. And then your limbics, and then who takes over? The limbic system takes over. And even this, no, even it doesn't require logic and thinking. It bypasses everything, and all decision making comes here. That is the reason. Even when I'm talking, like, I feel very, when you feel connected, your hand actually unconsciously goes to your heart.
Right.
So when we hug each other, we are actually aligning our energies. We are synchronizing the, uh, it is meant for synchronizing the frequencies of the heart, the rate at which our heart beats. That's create oneness, and that creates the rapport between them. Do you know one most wonderful thing about child? How does a child recognize a mother? Not by touch, not by smell, not by anything else, only by the heartbeats. Because 9 months, the child has only listened to the heartbeat and nothing else. So there is a different frequency of the heart which he or she listens to than that of the other. So divine process. I mean, it's so wonderful to even understand. So heart is why heart love is there, because if there is a logic, there is no love, and there is logic in the heart.
True. So that's a tagline. Where there is logic, there is no love, because love is beyond all the logic.
Love means acceptance,
Hmm.
accepting whatever it is. Accepting yourself means loving yourself. It doesn't give a, it doesn't stop you from growing, but any growth will come only by acceptance. So this is the advice that I always give people who talk to me and says that I want to reduce weight. I say, stop hating your weight first. You have to accept your weight. You have to accept what you have as a body, because it's not your body. This is the body. This is the expression of the consciousness. And this reminds me of a wonderful incidents that happened with the Raja Janak and Ashtavakra. अष्टवक्र वो कृपल, उसके 18 अंग टेढ़े थे. वक्र मीन्स टेढ़े. सो
Hmm.
इतना कुरूप था वो. So when जब सभा, when the the discussion was going on the spirituality, on the, he came to talk about it, and everybody started laughing. He said, you cannot understand me because you cannot see beyond the, आप चमड़ी के आगे देख ही नहीं पाते. Now that is leading us to the point. that physically attraction.
Mm-hmm.
Now, physical attraction is something imbibed in us. It is nothing. So, at particular age, the hormone will get activated, and you will find the need to be with physically attraction will happen between the two different sex, male, female, female, male, whatever it is. I'm not covering other aspects because otherwise वो पूरा different dimension पे चला जाए.
I understand.
I'm ignoring that. Okay, I'm aware about it. And I know we can talk on the from the consciousness point of view. We can talk on this subject as much as we can because that also needs an understanding how things are. So when this attraction happens after the need arises only and only. Why is that? Why is that the after 45, after 50, you know, the nature doesn't want an ordinary low category population, males and the females. It only wants the higher, it wants to, upgrade all the time. So you see, you are not capable. Now your genes, your DNA cannot produce something. So automatically the power of the woman reduces, the male's power reduces. At the peak, you transfer your DNAs. You match your DNA to give a new expanded consciousness. And that is why a female seeks intelligent males, powerful uh, males with the fame, male with the, one who is very, very robust, because she wants to live the legacy of a wonderful child, and she wants to be secured, and she wants him to take care of him for the whole of the life. Why the female takes a very long time in selecting a male and giving in to the male? And because now there are a lot of possibilities are there to avoid the childbirth, but actually that fear is still there instilled in the mind of the females, that they don't give in easily to a male. What they need, the trust. And the trust is that he is not going to go away.
So this
Leaving
comes naturally to all
me,
women, not just
leaving me,
humans.
yeah, of course, leaving me pregnant. I'll have to take care of this child, and my life is completely bonded after that. He is not going to share responsibility. That is why females look for the trust in the male. The core idea of the trust is not about that he is going to flirt somewhere else. And the concept of virginity is something which is we are not aware of. Totally, we are obsessed with that idea, but we don't know. Go and look and search the true definition of being virgin. Virgin is the lady who is ready to give the birth to a child after the menstrual cycle. So after every menstrual cycle, that gap, the space, that's a virginity. That I'm virgin.
And that's a highly, highly misunderstood term in today's world, especially in context of Indian mentality.
Absolutely. So that is what exactly so at that time you are not. So it can be a hilarious situation in the case of the bad news. They have tried to depict something, but I have not seen the movie, but I've seen the. So it's the space that you give an opportunity for a male, and at that time you do not interact with any other male, and you are focused to give birth to a child through that male. That's the concept of virginity. So from there, the physical aspect is there, and in physical aspect also love that physical intimacy. There is a lot misunderstanding, misconceptions, misrepresentations. It is a complete deviation from the reality that actually why there is. It is the experience. It is a peak experience. Okay, at that time you are completely in the state of, it's a complete meditative state. It is your connectivity to the divine, and it's a taste of the divine. It's not because of the sexual activity. Please understand this. Because of the physical activity. In the psychological terms, in the actual term, at the time when you are at the peak of your experience, the other do not matter. You are only and only with yourself and your divinity, and to experience the taste of that unconditional self of you, who you are, the embodiment of love that you are. And that is why there is a need of going back to that again. And I want to experience, not the physical act that you want to experience. It is the divinity within you that you want to experience. You feel that the other is giving you that divinity. That's the biggest misconception.
Oh, that's a very heavy thing to take. So,
No,
women,
we are talking only for the people who are really wants to think about the spirituality, awareness, meditation, and all these aspects.
true,
These are the
absolutely true. But
these
something so sensitive, you have explained it in such a beautiful manner. You know, I thank you is a very small uh, word for that. Uh, because never ever did I, or I'm sure a lot of other people think about it in such a way that when you are in the peak of the act, when if I may say that when you are experiencing an orgasm,
yes.
you are actually very close to the divine,
No,
and
no, you
it's
are. That's the not close. This actually you are the divine at that point of time. That's the connection has already happened.
so you're an embodiment of divinity, if I am putting that right.
Yes.
And yet
And
there are so many misconceptions around it, yet people call it a very immoral act.
and actually this when you talk about the spiritual aspect, this is the spirituality of love is more what? It is knowing oneself that I am the love. I cannot be anything else than the love because divinity is flowing through me and divinity is the love. Whatever name you call, divinity, you call universe, you call oneness, you call god, whatever that you want to talk about, what it means that you are the light being and you are the embodiment of the light and you have to experience your own light, and that light has three qualities, which is love, joy, and peace.
True.
That will give you the state of love, joy, and peace, nothing else. Now the these this is what the one side of the story of physics. The challenges on the physical front and all the problems that we are going through is rooted in our childhood, and these are the psychological aspects.
Okay.
It is far-fetched, but some of the scientists, the psychologists have said it very clearly that the sex, if you deprive somebody of the sex, all the psychological issues, the root of it is coming from the sexual or intimacy or the relationship that one has not had, or it is because of the incompleteness of it. I talk, since I don't know how I've been graced, I have spoke to innumerable females on this, and most of the females have gone through the abuse in their child. The
Yes, they
rate of
have.
abuse, the percentage wise, is more than 52%. Every second female that every second child, I mean, female child that you see, she has gone through the abuse.
Yes. It's a very dirty, however, a very harsh reality of our life.
Now, I have one in core in understanding these aspects. Being very candid, I look at the person, talk to just for a while, and I say, you've gone through an abuse. It reflects in the mannerisms, in the style, what they speak, what the language they use. I can just read those energies very quickly. And it is very important that they should get free as soon as possible. And it doesn't require much of a time. It's just a session of few 1 hour or so. Even 1 hour is too long. It's just to make you comfortable to even not a physical presence is required. Only through audio, without even disclosing your identity, we can do that. You don't need to
So,
They
this is a
people have
very good thing for the listeners. Here, I'm sorry, I'm stopping you right here. So,
not at
everybody
all.
who's listening, who's watching is, please, if you have gone through any such issue, if you know of anybody who's gone through any such issues, and you know how dangerous it is to live with something so bad, a child abuse is, especially for a female, is not a very good thing to live with. And I can assure you, this gentleman who I'm speaking with, ShriViral Manik, he is capable of helping you out with these issues, ensuring your secrecy, ensuring that nothing about you comes out. Reach out to him, you know, and live the joyful life that you really, really deserve. Thank you.
One of the saddest aspect about it that the first time when I say them, or they even don't know about it, they have suppressed it in their memory so deep that they are afraid to open up the Pandora's box and to find out what is lying inside. And they don't know how much it is affecting their life.
So once
I
this
know,
is helped with, what do you think would happen to someone? Can you give a before and after example?
pardon, I didn't got your question.
Yeah. So someone who has any lady, female who has come to you and you
It
have identified, so there are many, many who have come to you and you've identified that these people have gone through a child abuse and you have helped them through it. So, in your
thousands and
experience,
thousands and thousands.
yes. So, in your experience, would you like to talk about any one such example where how this person's life was before she underwent a session with you and how things changed for her after that?
See, basic is
Very
they
quickly.
will have the trust issues, they will have
Mm-hmm.
boundary issues,
Mm-hmm.
okay? They will have intimacy issues.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They will fear relationships and they will keep on breaking the relationships.
Okay.
Okay, it's they have not been able to experience real physical intimacy at all. They would go through the trauma and the pain again and again and again every time they remember things. Or even if they don't remember, it is projected in their unconscious. Oh, so for example, a very prominent, you will not say, I should not give this example. Okay, a famous personality, a star, she has gone through a very traumatic time overcoming this problem. And it really doesn't take much of the time to deal with it. You don't have to. It's so simple. It's so easy to work with this. But only thing is that you are not ready to work on that. I don't know. They get afraid. They don't talk. In some cases, I would suggest, in not all cases, some cases I would suggest they have rage and anger against the mother and the father. Sometimes they find that they are responsible. For what? For because they could not process the information at that time. They did not help us. I said, did you went and told them about it that you need help? Now go and tell them. So I make them speak that in some cases where acute things are there. And it get released. It doesn't take much time to release. The energy is caged within you. It wants to come out. It's a toxicity that you are carrying. It leads to so many problems within yourself that you have no idea, madam. It is only the one who has gone. It is the. I had suddenly a session with one of the doctor. And she said, no, I am not. When I took her into the conversation, and then when I asked what has happened, this, and then it triggered. And she came to know about the at least 4 or 5 incidents that she thought that this never happened. It is not about removing it. Is after surgery also you have to take care of your body so much. So for that psychologically, what has been the wounds are opened, it takes time to heal. Till then time, you have to give a very smoothing effect to them.
Yes.
So these kind of challenges are there in the physical intimacy, and all the challenges within the physical intimacy comes from your childhood. On that, I'm going to talk with Rishikesh. Please see that schedule on our channel, Ppure Energy.
Right.
We have left with the spiritual. I will just cover up the topics, then further discussion if you want to have, we can always continue with the part
Yes,
two.
it looks like we will have to go to part two. We still have the spiritual, the paranormal aspect of it pending.
See, paranormal is very, very simple. Before how we are going to touch on the paranormal, I think we have to talk for a complete an hour on paranormal. The paranormal aspect of the love means that you in the different dimension,
Hmm.
you have a different self of you. The people who are connected with you in your past lives, in the spirit realm, in the soul family, as the incidences which has happened in your past lives. On those, out of that, only the love aspect of that comes under the parent.
Correct. So, for everybody who's listening and for everyone who's going to listen to this, please wait for the part two to come. We will have some more very interesting discussions around it.
So one who does not dissolve, this is the physical, the physical people that we interact. They don't belong to there. I mean, these energies are outside the physical realm, and you
Hmm.
have to deal with those energies to reconnect to your own love again. And these are the missing aspects, the soul fragments of yours, the twin flames, or all the concepts related to that uh, aspect. It comes under the paranormal aspects of the life. And
So, yeah, sorry.
before I conclude, before we stop, the most important thing is we have no idea about our own self. Even in case of the physical intimacy, what are we looking at? Who are we searching for? And why are we searching? So that aspect of physical intimacy also needs to be addressed. The aspect of emotion, energy in motion. There are two spectrum of energy. One is fear, which is you are away from the source, and second spectrum is love, that you are embodiment and you are love. And how your emotions fluctuates creates a different feeling in your body. And how to balance in that spectrum and move towards more towards the love. That's an emotional deep we need to go into. And these are the four segments. We have just covered the couple of layers today.
We have, yes. So, for yet another exciting and enlightening session, please wait for part two of this podcast, and we shall let you know when we do that. And Viralji, thank you so much. This was a very, very insightful conversation. A lot of things were eye-opening. A lot of things were very, very beautiful. Um, and as usual, it has always, always been a pleasure interacting with you. Thank you so much for everything.
It's all because of the divinity within all of you, and especially you.
True. Thank you so much.
Thank
Yes,
you.
my hand went right to my heart.
Yes.
Thank you so much.